Is the slide is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we were talking about the crack branching mechanism based on the energy approach. No, so when the energy increases, so it needs it diverts from it things from the path, so that it will make a few more branches. So if the branches becoming more, that much resistance will add. Okay, so that is what the crack branching mechanism. Okay. So the Irwin, okay, or one extension of Griffith analysis, okay, Griffith analysis. Uh, you know very well, okay, Griffith analysis. What exactly Griffith? This one, it is basically Griffith analysis based on the surface energy. Surface energy. So in brittle materials, advancing cracks requires small energies of the order of surface energies, and therefore, once a crack starts advancing, it runs through the body easily, causing catastrophic failure. All we know very well, brittle material fracture is a catastrophic nature. Okay, in most engineering materials like metals, plastics, etc., energy much longer than the surface energy is required to grow a crack. Basically, that Griffith analysis maybe holds good for the brittle materials, but whereas in the ductile materials like metals and plastics, you the energy, you need more energy than the surface energy. Okay, then only the crack will grow. So the energy that causes anelastic behavior is eventually converted into heat energy and is lost to the surroundings. So the extra energy is becoming in another form. So in metals, the plastic deformation in the vicinity of the crack tip is caused mainly by motion and generation of dislocations, rotation of grains and grain boundaries, formation of voids, etc. So that all we know. Wherever the plastic regions, in internal atoms disturbance, so many things will happen. If the material is of low yield stress, the size of plastic zone is large, of course. Okay, low yield stress. That means the carbon content, okay, is more than the ductility will be more. So obviously the plastic zone size will be more. A large plastic zone means that a large amount of energy is required to advance a crack tip, isn't it? Oh, suppose we are talking about SSY. Okay, SSY. This is small scale yielding. So small scale yielding means only small amount of plasticity. So you need less energy to crack. But if the size of the zone is more, then obviously you need large amount of energy to advance a crack. These are all the Irwin Orwan's observations. So the overall surface energy can be written as, okay, then Griffith said only surface energy. But now Orwan is talking about plastic energy. So the total energy is surface energy plus plastic energy. Okay, gamma S is the surface energy possessed by surfaces even if it has not been subjected to any plastic deformation. When you have free surface, automatically this energy will be there. But when RP will be there, surface energy caused by the plastic deformation near the crack surfaces. Okay, cracked surfaces. The plastic deformation, that part of energy comes through plastic. Now, the resistance to crack growth in high strength alloys. High strength alloys. This is not actually brittle. It is neither not a ductile. It is a high strength. This is more or less brittle, but still it got ductility. High strength alloys. If you see the stress strain behavior, okay, Mild steel means you will have something like this. If you are saying brittle, pure brittle, it is something like this. High strength alloy means it's more or less like this. This is stress and this is strain. Okay. You may have sigma more here, the sigma less, but this got more energy, which one mild steel. But this fellow is having, though very strong, but energy less. That is the so we are talking about this property, high strength alloy. This is the most dangerous because they have having good strength, but ductility low. So ductility low means fracture is very wittable. So now, how the resistance is happening in the crack growth in the high strength alloys. So here we have taken the plane strain approach because plane stress or plane strains means it's all 2D planar structures. Why planar? That is really susceptible for fracture, crack, because thin structures. Because thin structures, solid structure we don't bother, but thin structures, that is where. So thin structures means either in terms of plane strain or plane stress. All that you know very well, the difference between 2D, what exactly a plane stress and plane strain. Now you can see here, okay, there is a crack length of A1. Okay, I'm playing with the two different P's load. So one particular P will cause, P1 will cause sigma 1. That sigma 1 will not cause the fracture. Why? Because that energy is less than my R. Then I have another P2 that may also somewhere here I may not get the things, but I will have some PC, a particular load that will cause sigma C, that will be equal to my resistance. Then onset of crack will grow. Then my crack will start grow, delta A. Okay, this is the resistance line. Until if it is false here, it is less than my resistance. After that, this is my resistance, but okay, my energy will go like this. So in high strength ductile materials, resistance to the crack growth does not remain constant, but increases as the crack grows. So resistance is growing. Why? I told you, no? How resistance will grow? You can see here. R is growing, no? 2R, 3R, because a different fracture may come, and not only that, the resistance will grow because of this part, plasticity. The resistance will grow because of the plasticity. Even crack need not branching, but the RP is there, no? Plasticity, that is increasing, no? So obviously my R will also increase because zone becomes plastic, resistance will be more. So the increase in resistance is small for plane strain cases. The increase in resistance is small for the plane strain 2D. Okay. This is resistance. This is my energy. This is my energy coming through load. This is my resistance coming through material behavior. Is there any doubt here? Hello students, is there any doubt?
No, sir.
All of you?
No, sir.
Good.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, pa. Now, plane stress, plane strain, no problem. Plane stress. Okay. Similarly, I have a crack length. Okay, I have a crack length. So I have a crack length. So I have one P. So that particular P will give sigma and G1. So, but still that is within R. So no crack. I am increasing, okay, P2. So that particular P2 is touching here. It is touching here. Okay. Then this is my R. This is R point. This is R. What will happen? This is R. When my A, my R also will increase. Why? Plastic formation. As long as my delta A grows, my R also will growing. But why? Plasticity formation. But the growth of R is quite high compared to plane strain. Plane strain, it goes like this. Whereas plane stress, my R is like this. Resistance. Then, okay. Okay. What is happening? And if I increase, okay, if I increase the thing, you can see here, increase in resistance is very steep, where in plane stress. Here, if you see here, suppose if it is a purely brittle material, my R is constant. So when my stress reaches here, these things will go here. G, the R is constant. This is pure brittle. Now, what is happening? When, because it's a high strength steel, so plasticity also there. So my R is not constant. As long as my crack grows, my R also will take up a shape like this. That is, R means resistance. So if it is here, single point, whatever the crack after that, it touches here. What you call that? Whatever sigma, if I do, it touches, then only it will go. Okay. This is my, this one means, okay. Whatever sigma I increase, definitely it touches. Okay, it touches. Whatever it is, it touches, because after that, this is my R. Okay, my R increases means a failure will come, obviously. Okay, it touches. Okay, it touches. This is my R line. But in this particular case, you can see here, okay, in the pure brittle material, it touches here. Anyway, it touches here. Whatever is sigma you increase, okay, so whatever crack length, whatever sigma, for that particular P, it touches here. Consistent value I'm getting. That means my G is equal to R, crack begins. It should be a constant value for that particular material. It should be a constant value. Whatever crack length I can make, whatever crack length I can make, whatever crack length I can make, but it should fail at the same resistance. It should be unique number because it's a material's specific character. But on the other hand, when you talk about the high strength alloys, then the R is growing something like this. For every sigma, I am getting different R. This is not correct. Because suppose even you can increase your whatever it is crack length, initial crack length, you are getting different sigmas, no? So each sigma is touching different R values. Then only crack comes. Then it is very difficult for me to fix a single value for a material. This is what its critical GC. A consistent value I should get. Then only it can be standardized. I cannot get more critical values. It should be one value. Whatever fashion of load you apply, that material should possess the same character. But that is not observing in the high strength alloys, especially in plane strain approach. The evidence is here. You can see the evidences. What is the evidence? Each sigma, it is touching different R values. So this phenomena is called, okay, stable fracture phenomena. What do you mean by stable fracture? It is giving different R values. You can see here, for sigma 2, fracture initiated at G2. So stable still just below, okay, GC. Beyond GC, it is unstable. So all these things, it's called stable fracture behavior. After that, it is unstable. So crack extends from A1 to A1 plus delta A1, then only, okay, the condition is fulfilling. What is that condition? I told you, no? Primary condition, secondary condition. Because you can see here, secondary conditions, these points is not valid. Only it is valid at the tangent of GC. Here only this condition is valid. So as I told you in the beginning, that conditions for a fracture, okay, especially for brittle material, this is sufficient. But for the ductility includes in a material like high strength steel, then this has to be checked. But when you start checking here, this one, okay, it is violating under these points. So these points are all called stable fracture. But this is inconsistent value, it will throw. Inconsistent GC value, it will throw. It is not correct, or you cannot standardize it. So when I can say a real crack will form means these two conditions has to be fulfilled. So where those condition is fulfilling at this particular point, at a particular stress. Until that, whatever things comes, it is called stable fracture. It's called stable fracture. So what to do? Because I cannot tell the world that you go up to GC, then only you will get a GC. Because it's very difficult. No, people to people, how to I say? Because I'm creating a material. I have developed a material, an alloy, high strength alloy. That is my own material. It got so much of combination inside. It is a company secret. Then I will not reveal. But the material is available to the world, wherein I'm saying that this material is having crack GC. The GC. What is GC? Critical energy rate. Why I need GC? Somebody has to design fracture. They need particular GC because they have to design that particular G which they are coming should be less than this fellow. Then only they cannot get the crack on that particular material. So I should throw the world GC. So if I throw the GC value to the world for my material Siva metal, this is GC means, then some part of the in Japan, they want to test because GC also people will find their own way because I should standardize it. That is what you have ASTM, American Society for Standard Testing Procedure. So anybody can find anybody's strength by conducting the standard testing procedure. They should also test, they should get the same GC value. In that sense, if they are getting stable fracture for particular material, then inconsistent GC they will get. Then they will tell it is something wrong. So I need to make the consistency GC. So how to get the consistent GC? So for the plane stress, okay, sigma C is not fracture strength at the crack length A1 plus delta A1. A1 plus delta 1. But for A1, because why? Your crack A1 is fulfilling here. What? The two condition. G is equal to R, then the Jo E by do A by do R by do A. So I cannot take, okay, my this thing is for A plus delta A1. Rather, it is for A1. For A1 crack only, it is satisfying here. It's supposed to satisfy somewhere here, but it is satisfying here. So serious error in fracture calculations are due to this misinterpretation. So what people have done, what is the solution? So if G varies linearly with the crack growth, okay, then the condition, though G1 by the1 leads to a, okay, contradiction. So what people have done, okay, apparently different GCs for different initial crack length is not possible. That is what I'm telling right now. Okay. So what people have done, okay, they have added a parameter beta. They have added because this is G, no? The G is pi sigma square A by E. So far I'm saying sigma 1, sigma 2, sigma 3. That sigma contributes my G. Now I'm talking this line in terms of G. Earlier I was referring this line in terms of G, in terms of sigma. Okay, now we can say in terms of G. Both are same. I hope you understand. So, okay, here I will have one this thing. Here I will have one thing. Here I will have one thing. So, but every line should focus one particular point. What to do? If you add a factor called beta, then every point, okay, every point, okay, more or less focusing at same point. When you add factor beta, what is this beta? It is nothing but it is function of, okay, crack length versus width. Suppose I have a particular thing. This is my W. This is my A. It is a function of A by W. A factor, if I multiply, square multiply with this particular G. So every G will touch at more or less same point, then it goes. Then both the condition will satisfy. Then this leads to approximately the same GC for all crack length. This is in agreement with the critical fracture toughness Kc obtained based on the stress criteria. So constant Kc is not okay objectionable from an engineering point of view. Okay, got it? What I'm saying? Hello.
Sir, can you repeat what is beta, sir?
Yeah, beta. See,
Yes.
one parameter I'm adding. What is that parameter? It is a geometrical parameter. Okay, it is a beta is nothing but my A by W. This factor. In this particular factor, if I'm adding, I am getting okay consistent. That means each point is meeting the R line at a particular point. It is a research.
Okay.
What
sir.
is that R? It is a ratio of my width to that is crack length to width of the particular specimen. If
Okay.
I add that particular parameter, I am getting every point is fixing at a particular point where the two conditions are meeting, so that I can say that is the GC. Because GC is important. After a GC, failure is happening.
Yes, sir.
But I should get consistent GC. Wherever somebody does the results, carry out the things, they should get the same thing. No, for different length, they should not get different GCs. But when they add the factor beta within that, everybody will get whatever the crack length, they will get the consistent GC. Got the point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is what very important thing in the fracture mechanics, especially in the NAG criteria when you deal with, because normally when you talk about the highly brittle material, it is only for to discussion we can have knowledge on that. But when really want to application point of view, the knowledge or the thing, the fracture mechanics has to be for high strength material only. So high strength material, they are neither this nor that, brittle or ductile. It is something like a dangerous material. I told you, no, these are all the materials we are using in the aeroplane. All the high strength material only useful. So that is where the fracture mechanics is very important. So when you deal with fracture mechanics, all we are playing with the GCs, energy, the critical energy release rate. So that particular GC should be consistent. So a parameter beta will come. So tomorrow you should not wonder or you should not surprise why this beta is coming. For all my calculations for to find the GC means that is to take care of the consistent value. Is it clear for you?
Yes, sir.
Clear, sir.
So, does it conclude the statement that every stable fracture is followed by an unstable fracture, something like that?
Every stable fracture column, but for that we are alleviating by including the factor beta.
Yes, sir. Okay. Sir.
Okay. So with that, we will stop it today, and we will continue next lecture. We are jumping into stress intensity factor approach.
Okay, sir.
With this, we are concluding energy approach.
Okay, sir.
Then stress approach. Then we will come to now we have completed energy release rate, COD. Okay, COD. Crack opening displacement.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now third item we are moving, stress intensity approach. That's a very interesting approach. Okay, next few classes. Okay, after that we will jump into J integral. That again more interesting. With that we will close the thing. There you will really enjoy when you jump into J integral. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Is there any the phase of the classes are going all right? Are you happy with the subject? Are you learning? Are you getting knowledge? What is your experience?
I feel yes, sir. The PPTs are really good, sir.
Good. And also it's solving your purpose, no? Something learning, whatever learning useful to my future? Are you feeling that kind of things?
Yes, sir. It's very interesting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good. When we go to
Sir.
stress intensity approach plus J, then you're down to practical things. Okay, you will be with respect to market. Okay, your knowledge. This is what they are doing, but nobody knows fracture. Only specialized people only can know about this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What else? Somebody was asking something.
Yes, sir. Sir, I was about to ask this beta is the sir, ratio between the crack and
when you do practical problem, you will understand better. Beta, one factor I used to get, it is depending upon a ratio of my crack length with respect to width of that particular section. That's all. It looks, though the problem was big, the solution is very small. That is what you could not digest. What is beta? What
sir,
is beta?
I mean, it's just adding a curve, sir. But
that's all. Now you are not adding a curve. You are adding a quadratic thing. Automatically, it making the curve focusing at a particular point.
Nice, sir. So the thing
it's
is
a second order
how
P
they
square,
would have got this. How they might have got this, sir.
Hey, then you have to ask Oravan. Not Dr. Shivakumar.
It's sir.
There is one Kamal Hassan used to say, no, when somebody is saying some pastellations, you just hear it. Don't try to go inside. Which movie?
I'm not sure, sir.
You are Tamilian, no?
Sir, but I watch very less amount of movies.
என்னமோ படத்துல நிறைய படத்துல யூஸ் பண்ணும்ல, பழமொழி சொன்னா அந்த இதை பண்ணணும், அதை ஆழ்ந்த கருத்துக்குள்ள
பஞ்சதந்திரம்
பழமொழியை சொன்னா அனுபவிக்கணும், ஆராய்ச்சி பண்ணக்கூடாது.
அந்த மாதிரிதான். இஃப் ஐ சே சம் பாஸ்ட் லைசன்ஸ்,
எஸ் சார்,
ஓகே, அவ்வளவுதான், ஆராய்ச்சி பண்ணக்கூடாது.
எஸ் சார்.
ஓகேமா, it was an enjoyable class today. Okay, any more doubts you can ask, otherwise we will leave.
No sir.
No sir.
Okay, all the best. See you in the next class.
Thank you sir.
Thank you sir.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye sir.